Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life After Happiness. Today, we're going to be going over some of our old shows and our old callers, but I think before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit about how to clean your house of negative energy. And to do that with me is my two co-hosts, Kelly and Barbara. Are you both there?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. Now, I think we talked about this before the show. Kelly, you knew how to do this a little bit more than the three of us. You the one that really knew. Am I correct?
Yeah, I did a thorough cleansing of my home. It wasn't to get rid of any, entities or spirits, but it was to get rid of, residual bad energy. Some things had happened here. There was the demise of a relationship, and it's just time to clean that stuff out and get rid of that energy and just start new. So that's what I did.
How do you do it? What do you use? Different kinds of materials, or is it the same kind of thing as clearing out evil spirits or any kind of spirits with the sage?
Well, it's kind of similar, except if you have evil spirits, it's going to take a lot more involved process. What I did was I had gotten some sage, and that came with a feather and a holder so that you put the sage on, and you light it, and it starts to smoke. And I went through my basement first, and I went around the perimeter of every room, opened up all the closets because I have a walk-in and I have some other ones down there, and then went through my storage and utility area, and my laundry and bath. And then I came up the stairs, and I did the same thing around the top floor and had the panel to the attic slightly ajar so that I could encourage some of the smoke to go up in there. And wherever you do this or you use incense, negative energy does not like it. It will not stay, but you have to also provide a way for it to leave. So after you've done the entire house, and I also did my attached garage, my shed, my car, the perimeter of my yard, and the back.
Wow.
Yeah, after I did all of those things with the sage, then I let it set for a little bit, and then I opened up all the doors, including the big garage door, and I opened up a window at each end of the house and the slider door, and just let it air out for a half hour. And I was doing this with Brian, and it was really interesting because before I opened it, I did a little extra step, and I did some Reiki energy just to, kind of irritate it and get it to leave before I opened it up, and rattled. And you don't have to do that stuff. That's just a little something extra that I did. And then you could feel, the heaviness of the energy, and the animals were upset, and they looked kind of scared or confused. And then it was weird because as it was dissipating with the windows and doors open, it was like this calm feeling. And it just got more and more calm. It was like the negative energy was leaving, and the animals got more calm. It was the most calm I'd seen them in a long time. And I did all this after I got rid of my ex's things to a family member of his so that he could get them when it was convenient and it was out of my house. So anything that we may have shared or whatever that was mine, that was left in the house, that would end up being part of what got cleansed and would no longer harbor the negative energy. So after that half hour was done, I went around and closed all the doors and windows, and then I used salt, like the kind that you can buy with a pour spout, and I put it along the outsides of the doors so that that's supposed to make it so that nothing negative can cross into your house or into your car. So I did that on the outsides of like the door frames, and I did that on the outside of my shed and the long, garage door and the side door. And I didn't do it between the kitchen and the garage because it's kind of, pretty much the same building. And, it has felt so much lighter. I had so much just nervous energy about me. Like I was running on adrenaline, and it just felt really odd. And I had like this heavy feeling. And, like they say, if somebody has cords that you need to cut, sometimes their negative energy is manifesting itself in your body, and you feel it like in one of your chakras, or it can be like in your back. So I did a cutting of the cords as well, so that everything was all done, everything was closed, like a book. So there wasn't anything left. And it has been the most freeing feeling, and I have been so relaxed like the last 4 days.
Kelly, what about pictures? What if you have pictures with this person? Are you supposed to get rid of them, or can you do this procedure over that and you can still keep the memory if you want to? What did you do about that?
I kept some pictures. A lot of mine are digital, but I kept the pictures because you can do that. Those are memories, and as long as it doesn't make you upset to look at them, because when you have enough distance between yourself and a relationship that didn't work well, you start to go from, going, oh, I can't stand to look at that, or ew, to feeling indifferent. So that's kind of like where I'm at, is the indifferent part. And I don't want to throw out memories.
No, yeah. I understand. I don't like throwing out pictures either. It gives you a reference to a timeline, to a thought that may be important that you keep. And, it was you. It's nothing wrong with you and your past life. I'm so glad that we could do that, because that was a question. I don't like throwing out my pictures, but I need to cleanse, cut more cords, I realize, and do that. And so is there a special thing that you buy, and where do we buy this, if there is? And I know you could use things at home, but I'm wanting to check out some real things that you can actually buy, some tools.
Well, really all you need is sage or incense that you like the smell of, or you can even find sage incense sticks. And, when I was all done with, the perimeter and everything, I ended up putting it in my kitchen sink because it's stainless steel, and rested it on that bowl in there and just let it burn itself out. And it's weird. It's like it burns itself out so it stops being on fire and smoldering, but it doesn't burn itself out so you have nothing left. It's like you can reuse it.
Oh. Do they do this before they move in to a new place, just in case there's some bad energy they want to get rid of, or spirit? Can they do that? Or, in my circumstance with the neighbor that passed away, my Karen says these are nice ghosts, but what if I just don't want ghosts around at all? Could I do that here?
Yeah. You can either do it before you move in, or you can do it while you're there. You can do it as often as you like. I was told that, how, well, when you put the salt on the outside of the door, it's going to wash away in the rain and sprinklers and things like that. So you just reapply it as often as needed, and nothing can cross that line to get into your home that's negative. So, if you're not dealing with a negative entity, like an actual demon or something, you don't have to worry about your windows and anything coming in that way. You're just getting rid of negative energy, residual energies. You're not getting rid of spirits and demons or anything like that. So that takes a different process. But what I'm talking about is, getting rid of energies of maybe there was fights and arguments, or maybe there was, something that happened and it's not haunted. It's just, negative energy that you don't want. And that's how you can get rid of it this way.
I think that it's such a great idea to do just before you move in anywhere, or just kind of just once in a while, like you said. What if it washed away? And also the ritual of doing it, I think, can be a cleansing process for the individual. Just doing it and cleaning it and physically doing that, what you just described, can be therapeutic as well. It seems that would be.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the TV show Friends?
Yes.
After a breakup, Phoebe started Rachel on having a fire and then pitching love notes and all that in there. And sometimes that's what people do to cleanse. You can also throw them out, or throw them out with salt, or keep them if they don't bother you. And if you do this cleanse of your home, then it cleanses all the items that are in it too.
Okay. Yeah, I like to keep those too. It's just kind of fun to look back. If it's been enough time and it's, like you said, not hurtful, I like to keep them. But I am one of those that just has to get rid of things. And I like to keep papers and cards, very sentimental like that. So I bet there's people out there who have a lot of things like that they don't know there's still a cord lurking there attached to them, and that cord is going all the way down to the basement or all the way up to the attic, and they're wondering why they feel better when they leave their house. Yes, there's something to be said for fresh air, but still, you should feel content in your home. And why don't they try that? Because who knows? Maybe they have a lot of negative connections, and everything is energy, and it's powerful.
Yeah. And if they feel better with it, they can say prayers while they're doing it. I know I did. And whenever you get something like a new vehicle, I think it's a great idea to do that with the vehicle, because you don't know who was in there before. They could have been arguing, or, you just don't know. It could go all the way to where it was manufactured, and maybe somebody was disgruntled on the job. You just don't know.
Right. It could be the test drivers.
Yeah. So,
I like it. Okay, what is it called? What is it? Is there a term for this? Is there a special thing, sage clearing?
Yeah, like sage clearing, staging, getting rid of negative energy. If you were to look those up, you'd probably find something, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Some people make it to be extremely complicated, but it's really, really easy. It's just, you're just removing negative energies. Like I said, you're not taking out spirits or demons or anything. So, it's a very simple process. Because negative energy doesn't like to stick around. And then you fill your space with positive energy and, prayer and things like that. and then there's no room for the negative to come in. And you can
right,
do this
like
with an
people
awesome.
moving into a new building, like say a church, and they have a new congregation. They pray for the building. They pray for the land. I mean, they pray about that, and that is a form of meditation, and that really is powerful. So, what about though if we want to get rid of the spirit? Is it much different? Can you walk us through that?
That is different. Like for me, when I've done that, I've had to call on people that are like elders in a church, and they use holy water and the whole thing, and that worked. Another way is when I'm working with people who actually have one inside them. It comes out when I'm doing like a chakra cleanse. It's done that before, and it's like I go, yeah, it's like, oh, there's something in here, and it's not just negative energy, and it's really powerful. And like prayer, you have to pray in the blood of Jesus, and you have to command it to leave. You can't like ask it nicely because it's not going to, but you have to command it to leave in the blood of Jesus. And then, Jesus being stronger, they have no choice. But sometimes it's a real struggle because they don't want to leave. And the thing is, people think that, oh, I'm cured, but if they don't fill themselves up with the Holy Spirit and doing godly things and being positive, then they're leaving that door open for more negative stuff to come in.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever done it to a person while they're, like, to their face? I have.
Well, you've exercised the demons?
They did not like it. Oh, my goodness. It was my ex, and he would always say the craziest things, and it was very evil and very negative, and he was into conspiracy theories so much, and it was just always so negative. So my mom taught me that, what you were talking about, the prayer. Like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, Satan. It's their Christian prayer. But I did that at his face. Oh, I got a really bad reaction from him. He did not like it. He's like, what are you doing? And he never would get like that, angry like that. So it really affected him. But I couldn't take it anymore. I felt like every single time he opened his mouth, evil was lurking around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And some people, they invite it, and it's sad because, some people just plain, they're oblivious, they don't know. Other people, they're struggling with it, and they have an idea something's wrong, but they're not sure what, and they get weird impulses. And other people, they feed off of that. That negativity, that negative energy, that demon is feeding off of them, and they're feeding off the demon, and they don't want to leave that because that's all they really know and feel, empowered by, which is really sad. So,
it's so sad.
Until it's taken out of them and they return to themselves, sometimes they're, kicking and screaming, not really wanting to let go of it because it's, not necessarily them kicking and screaming, wanting to keep it. It's just really weird.
Oh.
It can be different for each one. And, because once those latch onto a person, they're feeding from that. They don't want to leave. And the person may not realize that's why they're acting out in a certain way, because they wouldn't normally act that way if they didn't have this they were fighting with.
That's right. And just like people who are gossipers, they have to do it because it's like that's their fuel and they're so used to it. It's the same kind of thing. The negative people, they love the negative. Complaining is a big one. They complain about a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, and then the spirits, the negative spirits probably love that. Is that what you're saying? That spirits connect with that? Oh.
Yeah, they connect with that. They also connect with somebody that has a lot of self-doubt or depression or, people that are angry or people that, feel like they're wronged, not victims. I mean, because most people that have been victimized end up getting through and feeling like a survivor, empowered eventually, but it's the people that are stuck in the negative mode that they tend to attract it and it holds them and they hold on to it, and they don't realize they have this. They just think that everything sucks and they got the short end of the stick and life isn't fair and they're getting screwed over. So,
wow. No wonder, Kelly, that I felt, when I just said that I felt evil in the room around them when they'd open their mouth, because there were the evil spirits connected. I felt that so much with that person. I tried so hard to help them. I tried to get them on the right path. It was too late, I think. They have to want to help themselves, for one thing. It's hard to help somebody when they don't think they're wrong at all.
Yeah, that's true. And then, you have the narcissists, which are a whole different set of issues that, I think a lot of narcissists begin with childhood trauma. However, not everybody that's gone through the similar type trauma ends up becoming a narcissist. So I don't know what makes some people a narcissist and others not when they have a similar background. But the narcissist is never happy, but it's always everyone else's fault. And they're always deflecting.
Yes,
so
it's hard to live with.
Yeah, when they never take responsibility for doing something, they never apologize and really mean it. So it's hard to work with somebody like that. But I honestly don't know if there's a relationship between narcissists and people that have struggled with a demon. I really don't know.
Wow.
Because I don't know all narcissists. I just know the ones that I've known and heard about.
Well,
and
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so, I think it certainly opens up the door to allow for that. They just might not want to let go of it, being that, they tend to deflect and not want to look at things head on.
That's right. And you know what I've noticed about narcissists is they actually go out of their way to put the blame on somebody else. And they have all the reasons why it's not their fault and it's this person's fault and that person's all wrong. It's like it's so difficult to be with one of those people.
Yeah. And, when they do that, they try to make the person that they're with feel responsible and feel like they're perceiving it wrong and feel like they're crazy. And, they start doubting themselves and their own perceptions of situations. So, some people who have been with one tend to seek them out again, not realizing it, because they're not sure what normal's supposed to be. Because, So, I'm in that situation now that I'm not with one, and he's not with one. And it's like we're both discovering things together, and we have really great open communication, but we're both a little bit, cautious because, this is new territory for us, that being in a healthy relationship. It's kind of like, wow, what happens next?
Right. And this is the time when you're building the foundation, and it's really nice to take it slowly. Not that you are too worried, not that you're worried, but just because you want to enjoy that every step of the way, every second that is the journey together to where you're going, and enjoy the ride, not just worry and, oh, we got to do this so fast and this so fast, and not enjoy it. And then, so you're building a very, very strong foundation, and that's so important. It's like such a glue when there is something out there that goes wrong in life, which it's going to happen. There's always things that happen in life, that you will be so strong. Whatever it is, it will bring you closer together.
Yeah, thank you. That's how we feel, and it's new. I mean, because in other relationships, we were waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, okay, when's this person's mask going to come off? And now it's like, wow, this person's the real deal. And, there's like, we don't have to fear, because we already know who the other one is, and we're being genuine. So there's none of that guesswork, or none of that like scary stuff, or none of that hesitation, or that weird feeling in the back of your mind that something's not quite right but you're not sure. There's none of that.
Right. Oh, how wonderful.
Thank you. It's really a blessing. I mean, it waited for us to be like in our early 40s, but it's like, at least we're not like 80 just covering it.
Oh, no, right. Oh, gosh, you're still so young. I know. Well, definitely a time when you can actually see it for what it's worth and notice it and acknowledge it and know what it is, because sometimes if it comes when you're really young, you're not really taking it all in. You don't even know how special it is. So you guys have been both through different relationships where now you can just be like so grateful that you have each other, because you've seen what you could have ended up with.
Oh gosh, yeah. And it's like, well, we're not doing that again.
Right. Very empowering.
Yeah. So it's exciting, and I don't have to feel like I have to sit on the edge of my seat. Yet it's very exciting. So it's like, wow, this is new. I can relax and just enjoy. And it's like,
right.
It's like, wow, what is this? But I like it a lot, and it's refreshing because, having to guess what the other person's really thinking, having to make sure you're not offending, or you're afraid that you're going to, or you're afraid that they're doing one thing and telling you another, it's like there's none of that here. And it's like, wow, so this is normal. This is what it's supposed to be. Cool.
Well, yeah, and don't we have enough other things that we have to deal with jobs and work and home upkeep, that we, at least our relationship, that's what we want to enjoy. That's what we hold sacred. That should be exactly what you're explaining.
Yeah, and our home should be a safe place, a sacred place, that, when you want to get away from job or stress, that you should be able to come home and just relax, get the things done that you need to, but just feel like it's your sanctuary. And it really does now.
It's good, and not only that, but you're on the same wavelength. You're on the same page as far as spirituality. He's not thinking, what is she doing, cleansing with sage? Oh, that's so nutty. Or, he supports that. He supports your spirituality and your beliefs and all of that. Can you imagine being with somebody who's just ranking on what you do? You feel like you can't even be you in front of them. You can't even be you.
Oh,
what's the point?
I've experienced that. And, Brian doesn't always understand or agree with everything. And because he has his own, ways of seeing things and opinions and whatnot, but we fully support each other, even if we don't agree on everything. It's like, like, I don't know about an example, but it's just, like, we're not clones of each other, and we accept that. I mean, it would be really boring if we were,
Yes, that's right. It
yeah,
would be boring.
so, yeah. I mean, we're kind of like the male and female version of each other, but it's kind of like we have our own interests and our own hobbies and, experiences, but we have a lot of shared ones, and we have a lot of shared ways that we look at things, like open-mindedly, and, we're fully supportive of each other, and, we discussed that later on down the road, if he wants to paint his models and I want to do sculpting or, do my nails or something, we could do that in the same room, spend time together, but doing different things. We don't have to be, like, glued at the hip.
Right. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. And, I do notice the difference in your voice since you did the cleaning of your place. I remember when you were doing it, and I can tell a difference.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, so much more relaxed. You went through a lot in a very short time. You had to get rid of all of this stuff. You had to keep talking to the family members of that party, and you had to deal with that, which was so draining, probably because the evil was connecting to their words. And, I mean, that drains you when there's negative spirits or vibrations or energy. That is so draining. And you were getting drained, but now it's over, and you sound so calm.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you. Yeah, I feel a lot better. I mean, I have my moments where I still feel a little drained at times, but I think it's just, kind of like when you're so amped up for a long period of time and then you have, like, the letdown period, it's kind of like your body goes through this, well, I want to sleep all the time, but I can't because, life is happening. But it's just kind of like the adrenaline isn't what's pushing anymore, and it takes a while for the body to adjust.
Oh, yeah, it does. So, yeah, you're in the other stage of trying to get rest and rejuvenate. But I'd say a couple of weeks, you won't even remember it. Thank goodness it'll be a distant memory. But you went through it, and you had people like us behind you, supporting you. You had a place where you could talk about it and feel safe there, which was Life Laughter Happiness. And all of us here, rooting for you and praying for you and being there for you. And that's what the message, right? We want that message to be out there for everybody. We're here for them. We have our regulars coming on the show. I mean, yesterday, Terry calling again, loving us. It's because they feel like they're part of the family.
Yeah, and they are. And, this is like the first time I've been safe, feeling safe enough to be able to talk is with you guys and on the show. And I really feel like it helps people get to know us, but also there are people that can identify that have either been through situations like we have, or they're going through it, or they're confused, not sure, what's going on with the person that they're with. And I think it just really helps to let people know that, we all deal with real life stuff, and we, deal with it head on, and we're very supportive of each other. And we're not hiding anything at all. I mean, we talk about it on the show, and I think that's very empowering to bring light into things, even if they're uncomfortable situations, because we're all in this thing called life, and we're all facing things.
That's right.
Or running from them. Hopefully we're not running from things, but, that at some point, usually people have to face things that they don't like. And, we are a family, and nobody has to do it alone. I mean, anybody can be part of our family and get that support, and that's really important. And
that's right. And
since
we have a. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I mean, support for anything, really, as long as it's not hurting anyone. I mean, you know, we have people that are in different kinds of situations, and we don't judge. It's like, this is real life, you know, and
That's right.
none of us are better than anyone else. And it's good to know we're all in the same boat, so we all have something that we're dealing with.
That's right. And you know what? We have that little section on our website at the bottom where you could fill it out, the listeners, and put your name and your email if you do have any questions at all. And we get back to you. And who knows, maybe we'll talk about whatever it is that they have a question about on the show, and you'll be able to be more interactive with us. So don't forget to sign up for that and stay in touch. And any kind of suggestions or comments, we would love to hear from you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're not here to, you know, just talk randomly about stuff. We're here to, you know, let people know that they're not alone in real life issues.
That's right. That is what it is all about. And so it's so exciting for us because every day I see our YouTube and we're getting more subscribers. But to me, that just means we're helping more people, and more people are tuning in, and more people want to help themselves or others around them. And it's just exciting. The community is just growing and growing. So do we have any recaps? Do we have anybody calling in to tell us how they are since the chakra cleanse they had on the show, or the Psychic Day, or if they were a caller who called in for Psychic Day, if they have any comments, and how are you doing out there?
Well, we don't have any callers, but I think you said you had a story, Barbara. Is that right?
Oh, well, it's not really a story. It's just a little recap about Big Ching, and I talked to him yesterday. He was excited about the show that he was on. He listened to it back, and he's like, that really, really made him feel good, and it gave him more fire under his feet, too. Attain his goals. He said it really, really gave him energy and positive, and just, we're totally cool, he said. And, yeah, and he's doing well. And so he said, and always, the RV, it's the Life, Laughter, Happiness RV, yours when you guys come for the photo shoot with the makeup artist, heading to the beach. And so that was cool. So that was positive.
Yeah.
And then, and then you guys know I've been spending time with Shauna because she's going up and down from San Diego to LA a lot, and I'm right in the middle, so she always does a little pit stop here. And I've seen her grow and change. I mean, she's really evolving and finally getting really strong about this relationship that has been really not positive for her. But, you know, sometimes we're in love, we fall in love with somebody who is not so good for us, and that's hard to do, but she's cut the cord, and she, just the other day, you know, she's up and down from, like, wanting to stay with him and, you know, then wanting to leave him, but she was really strong about it the other day. She's like, I made up my mind. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on. And so the cutting of the cord was where it started, Kelly, and that was a big, huge step for her. She cried.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's super. I'm glad that we were able to help. I know that when it's a relationship, even when people want out of it, it still can be very painful.
Yeah. Well, because she was saying that the feeling is so strong, the love that she feels that he has for her, that is an addiction, that feeling that she's getting. Even though he's bad in other ways, that feeling, I think she may be worrying that she is not going to feel that again with somebody else. But how can you find somebody else if you don't fully get? You know, a lot of people think, oh well, they'll be okay once they meet somebody else, but not really, because they're not going to be open to meeting the right person, or the right person may not come into your life because you're not ready for them, because you haven't cut all the cords. Why would you be blessed, and why would you have your Mrs. or Mr. Right come into your life if you aren't totally ready for them? So it's really important to do that. Mhm.
Yeah, or they could come into your life and you totally miss it because you're focused on someone else.
Yeah, and they'll have to come back in a few years, and then look at all those years that you could have enjoyed something really positive and great. So it's really important. We can't stress that enough, is to look at your life. Look at it in a different perspective. Pretend you're not you and you're somebody looking in at you, and analyze and figure it out. What's going on here? And then we have the tools here to help you, to fix it, to walk you through it, your spirituality, starting with the chakra cleanse. And then, oh my gosh, the psychic day just tops that off with a little bit of gives you like a skip in your step, because if you're not on the right path, Karen will get you there. Or if you are on the right path, she will tell you are, and that just confirms it, and that just makes you feel confident. So either way, you're getting a little confidence boost with the psychic reading. So come on over, people. We want to chakra cleanse you, and we want to tell you what's going on in your life in a different way, in another way, the psychic way. And it's so fun, isn't it? It's so fun when you look back and you're like, oh, hey, that did happen. Oh, I did see that, what she said. Oh, that person did come in my life that she said. You know, it's fun.
It is. Yeah. And it's like, it is life-changing. It really is. But it has to be when a person wants it. I mean, nobody's going to have their life changed by, making a phone call if they're not ready to or willing to, go for something better in their life.
That's right.
And a lot of people are afraid of change, even good things,
Oh, yeah, they're creatures of habit. So,
yeah,
it's really good stuff. It's so interesting, and I hope that they are doing well. I know the ones that I know that are my friends after Chakra Day, they're doing great. Elsie's also doing really well. She is happy that she has not gotten angry with the neighbor. She has not lashed out at the neighbor at all.
Hey,
so,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
She's
a character.
Cool.
Yeah, I like to see her when she's so happy, because she really is a spiritual seeker. She tries. When people work hard on that, and positive, they're reading all about how to change your life, and they're going on the right track. To see them so happy and doing well is great. And she was here yesterday to see my new place, and she's doing so great. Because I asked her, I said, how is it since Chakra Day still with the neighbor? And I know I gave you an update before, but it's still the same.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love hearing that. And I can't wait to meet her when we do the photo shoot.
Oh, yeah. And I would love to start collecting people's reviews, too, for our reviews page. So got to keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, get the word out that we're collecting those, and because people will be happy to write us one.
Yeah, that's so true, and that helps so much. Then, that gets the word out there, and people are like, oh, well, this person had a positive experience. Maybe I can try it.
That's right. Yeah, so exciting stuff coming soon. And Johnny, so you've said you've got a lot more shows that you listed up on our YouTube channel.
I have uploaded. I don't know if Karen, if Kelly heard it or not, but I don't know if you heard that. But I have officially uploaded all the shows that I did before you and Kelly came on. So
Woo!
now the
All right.
shows that I'm going to upload are all going to be shows that it was I think there might be one or two that I did when Kelly was sick and Kelly wasn't there, but that's not the same thing.
Okay.
I mean, from now on, the pre-Kelly era has officially been uploaded. So now it's now where I'm into the post Jonathan Solo era, and now I'm into the Kelly, I'm in the Kelly era now, and then soon, and then I think about a few more pages I'll be into the Barbara era, and I sent you, it's funny, the history was interesting. Like I wrote down, I found out the day when I started, whenever I would start the show with our show instead of my show. I found out when that happened.
Yeah. Got that date down?
That was actually, what?
You got that date down, huh?
Yeah. It was so funny because Kelly came to me, said to me on the phone, one night, and I said, yeah, I mean, it makes you feel like you're really a part of it. And Kelly goes, you start the show off by saying it's my show.
It's not anymore, right?
Yeah, you remember that, Kelly?
Yeah, because it was, and sometimes things get worded like that, I would like.
Well, I write
the
descriptions pretty quick.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you're the one that said to me,
and,
"Is it my show?"
Yeah, because you'd be like, you'd say that, and you'd be like, how do you? I'm trying to think of how you introduce, but instead of, saying, welcome to our show, Life Laughter Happiness, it was welcome to my show, Life Laughter Happiness. You had mentioned that we're equals, but people might not get the idea.
Well, you're right. And she's right about that. That's true. It has to. I mean, you need to understand. I mean, that it took some growing. I mean, you can't, and it is true. None of that was ever on purpose. I mean, and I did not start it out with Kelly being there, but you understand. I mean, it's. But I think one of the things I liked about that. Huh? What?
It was habit for you because you've been doing the show for years, so you
well,
didn't
yeah,
do
and not only that is.
Yeah.
And not only that, I mean, it's sort of like you have to. You sort of realize that, it's like, it's really weird. I mean, I have had people that I've done the show with, but I've not had, like DT is the only other person before Kelly that I ever did the show with a few times. But it's like, DT was sort of like, she would come in, she would do the show with me, she would do great, she would do wonderful, she would do great, and then she would do wonderful. And then I would never hear from her again until I asked her to come on. Right? And then Kelly came on, she was doing great, she was doing wonderful, she was doing great, and she was doing wonderful. After the show is over, can I come back tomorrow? I mean, it was just like...
Isn't it, Barbara?
That's awesome.
What?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's addicting. Yeah, it is addicting. It's like once you're on here and you're really loving it and you're really into, like, what we're doing and helping people, it's addicting, but in a powerfully good way. Isn't it?
Very, very good addiction.
Like, I wanted to ask you this. You said that we have a guest for tomorrow for Chakra Day. Who is it?
Her name is Rachel. She is a friend of Brian's, and I'm not going to give very much detail so that it's totally authentic in the reading.
Okay, I guess that's fair enough.
Yeah, but her name is Rachel, so you can put that on the show description. I don't know what her last name is. so I would have to, ask. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Is her last
yeah.
name Green, and is she in love with a guy named Ross and living in New York City?
No. No. I know that much.
She's not like, she doesn't
No.
have a friend who wrote a song called Smelly Cat?
No. Not that I'm aware of. Yeah. So,
guys, I got a message recently. I just thought of this. So interesting. This girl wrote me and said, Barbara, I had a similar accident as yours at that same home. I don't know if I should keep mentioning the name of the person. It's not his fault, but same. And I asked her, I said, what happened? And, I am a friendly acquaintance. Like, she's another model, and it was our agent's place. So, but she knew of me, and she just recently wrote that. So I've got to remember where: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Where did I find her message, right? And then go back to it and look and let you guys know. But I want to know what. Can you believe that she wrote to me and said that?
Oh my gosh, that would be interesting to have her on with Karen and you and compare notes.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I was thinking. I know. So.
Oh, that would really be weird if, remember, somebody thought you had been pushed. What if she had been pushed, by a spirit?
Yeah. I'm wondering why I haven't heard about this before, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow, this is, weird stuff. Something needs to be done with that property.
So weird. All these weird things have been happening, like, around me lately with the person passing away with, that's not that weird, but the ghost about that.
Yeah.
And then this girl who wrote in. I can't wait to hear it, and I'll share that with you guys when I find out.
Yeah, thank you. Because, that's, you and I are on this journey where it's like we're becoming more aware of things and more open to being able to see and interpret them. And I think we're drawing in positive energy and positive people into our lives. And I think that she did not contact you by accident. I think it's more of, drawing positive people to us in situations.
Right. Yeah.
And all I have to say is I am glad Mercury retrograde is done. This was the last day that was kind of like in the shadow period, the residual time. And then I'm going to have to look it up, but one of my friends said tonight is Lionsgate at like 1:13 a.m. and it's going to be 8/8 of 19. But Lionsgate is like this. I want to see if I can look it up right now because it just, I'm not really sure, but it's some sort of portal. Lionsgate meaning 8 is the great equalizer. It balances both the material and immaterial world. So on the day of the Lionsgate opening, expect a major shift in your life that brings harmony and peace. Recommended the Lionsgate opening on August 8th. So that's happening tomorrow.
It's funny, speaking of numerology, you remember how I was talking about the other day about how in the Bible, about the angel of the Lord naming the babies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're laughing at that, but there's an aspect of it that there's something. It just goes to show you the importance of naming someone. In the Bible, it seems to be very, very important. I mean, you can't just. This seems kind of really weird to you. I mean, you're trusted to do all this other stuff, but the naming of the baby is decided for you. I mean, they don't. It's kind of funny. The angel doesn't say anything about, well, this man will grow up and be a teacher. No, they don't tell the woman that. They just tell the name of the baby. You know?
Yeah, it's so funny.
That is funny.
I just thought it was so funny that yesterday when you were telling, and then you're like, isn't that right? I mean, what do you think, Sean? And she's like, what? And then you had to re-explain the whole thing. You're so patient. I mean, that was so sweet and funny. But only Johnny, he's thinking a couple layers down on that. You know, he's always like,
Charlotte's Web.
Everything.
Charlotte's Web.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid after doing some research, I'm afraid that the kind of spider that Charlotte was, she ate her husband. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. It happened. It just. That
her
ruins your childhood,
husband.
doesn't it? But you know, it's good that she didn't survive past the birth of her kids, because that would have had to have been another song, having to explain where the kids came from. That's something to think about.
That's funny.
Yeah, you always come up with the most
I
interesting
ate my
things.
husband.
Where's Johnny? Yeah. Well. Yeah. I made
funny
you
that
little
you call
rubber
it
to them. Yeah.
You know, he calls it like he thinks that they actually got married.
Well, that's the actual wedding ceremony.
Oh, God. All right.
So this took a weird turn.
Yeah. I do know,
You
though,
never know
that what they
we're
do,
gonna talk about.
this is what I've heard. I've heard somewhere that one or two things happen with spiders. Either the woman kills the man, or she ignores the guy. You know, it's not, spiders, they don't mate. They don't, go get married or anything like that. That doesn't happen. They just sort of, the guy goes over to the woman, does his thing, and, they just leave. So basically, Charles
Some humans are like that too.
What?
I said some humans are like that too.
Right. But then again, that makes you kind of look at Spider-Man a different way, because if he got bit by a spider, wouldn't that also affect other things too? Oh, and by the way, let me tell you some other little spider facts. I bet you didn't know this. Okay, first of all, they asked this to the arachnologist, how realistic is Spider-Man? Well, first of all, there's a couple of things that you need to remember, okay? One, spiders don't transfer their DNA through a bite, okay? But this is the neat part. You see, all those webs that you see that they make?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is, Barbara? Do you know what that is?
Is that their saliva, or
That's their poop.
silk? Poop.
So basically, yes. So in other words, if it were to be realistic, Spider-Man would bend over every time he was going to go over a building, because it would come out his rear end.
Oh my goodness, that's
Did
true.
you know that, Kelly?
I did not know that. I knew that when my tarantula has webs come out, it comes from her spinnerets and her rear end. But I've never seen
exactly.
her poop.
Yeah,
Huh.
see, that's why.
Now I know.
Because that is her poop.
Yeah.
That is her poop.
Wow.
That's funny.
So, wow. Boy, there's a whole
So,
line
in
of
other
jokes
words,
from
it would
these
be like
things we
Spider-Man would be like every time he tried to stop an enemy, he would just bend over.
have. Here, let me shoot you with my web. Yeah.
That's silly. You're funny,
Oh my
Johnny.
So essentially, in the movie
God.
Spider-Man, Peter Parker has anuses in his hands.
Wouldn't it be funny if he actually shot one side of his rear end and he went to shoot one and he only tooted?
Actually, I'll tell you another. Did I tell you I did tell you the story about my nephew and now about the birds and the bees, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you remember the story, Barbara?
No.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
Well, my nephew, Isaac, they sat him down. They told him about the birds and the bees, okay? And after telling him this, they sort of figured that he got the gist of it, right? He got the gist of it. The only problem was that Isaac decided to go around and talk to people about it. And Tasha and Ronald, they overheard it, and they decided that they needed to sit down and kind of explain to him, say, listen, Isaac, you almost got it, okay? You almost have it, but you need to pay attention to one fact that you missed. There's no P involved.
Oh.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well.
He thought that when a man and a woman do it, that the man has to drink a lot of water first. And that other stuff that would normally come out is what comes out.
Well, that would be pretty darn messy. I'm glad it doesn't.
Actually, that'd be a weird way to flirt with someone. Can you imagine that? Seriously, women would be walking up to bars and saying, "Can you get me a glass of water?"
Oh, my goodness. That's true.
Wow.
That's
be
funny.
Like, put down the tarp.
He's a character, that's for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
And he had an idea one time for a pizza place. He called it Poop. People ordering our pizzas. And, sometimes I think, no, a pizza place should not be called Poop.
No.
That's funny.
People ordering our pizzas is Poop.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
Well, I think we're about out of time.
The world through Isaac's eyes, right?
Yeah.
What?
Well, we're about out of time.
World through Isaac's eyes.
But, yes, he's funny.
Yeah, we ended on an interesting note, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just never know what we're going to say on the show.
All right.
Do your cleansing, people, and then you can end up being silly, too, and enjoy your little silly moments like us.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you both for coming on.
Oh,
yeah,
of course.
thanks for having
You're
us.
welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, we love doing
Thanks, everybody.
it. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great night. Okay.